Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to be making some foiled eggs. And all that means is we're going to use our foil kit that came with your Cricut and be able to make these gorgeous foiled eggs. Now you're just going to need some cardstock and some plain cardstock where you can actually make a few things. I made this little card and added the foiled egg and little cutout egg as you see on your screen here. And of course made some more with the cutouts here. Little 3D. So a lot of fun with these foiled eggs. You can even add something to it, a little place card for the table. So these foil eggs are very simple. So I use gold foil, and you need the gold foil paper either from Cricut or from another source, and you need some cardstock and maybe some plain colored cardstock so that you can see the foiling on the back. And it's a lot of fun. So let's move over to Design Space and see what we can do with this. We are going to upload a file, and this time I have the file pre-uploaded, and this file is called Foil Eggs. You want to find that in the resource library, and I will put the resource number, asset number down below this video so you make sure you get the right file. I'm simply going to click on it, and I'm going to insert those images into Design Space. You see everything comes nicely attached together in a group. Well, I don't want that group. So now we have items that are attached together like this, and that is something that Design Space does. So you can move things around. These two for some reason are attached, so I'm going to come down here to detach because you want everything apart. Move this and see if this one's attached to anything, and it is. So we're going to detach it. This one down here and this one up here. See, this one is attached here, so it's going to take a little bit just to make sure you've got the parts in place. So we know that's going to happen quite a bit here, so we're going to detach. You don't want anything attached right now. And this one is all by itself. That's interesting. And this one we want to detach as well. I'm going to put these up and these ones down. Now everything is set to a basic cut and a pen. These ones are all set to pen. So what you want to do is perhaps change these all from a pen. Change these all from a pen to a foil. And when you're working with delicate lines like this, you probably want to go to a medium foil. You can do these all individually if you want. You can do these all individually if you want. So I've got them all set to a medium foil for now. Now the biggest thing is they're going to go on something, and that depends if you put pieces of paper or a card onto your mat so that they will foil together. Now what I suggest you do is you put something in behind so it foils just this piece. Now you may decide that, okay, I'll put a circle behind, and when I did some recently, I did put a circle behind and just changed the shape a little bit so they came out really nice, but you can do what you want to do with it. So I'm going to take a circle here, and I'm going to send it to the back because I want to be able to work with this. So I could put a circle behind so that this will foil right on the circle. You could decide that you wanted to be at the front of a card. You could take this whole thing, put a card template on here, and then push it on here. I'm going to unlock this, and I'm just going to make it a little more of an oval here, and I'm going to lock it together. Now, black's not my favorite color, so I'm going to make it a nice Easter purple maybe. So I'm going to take both of these together, and you'll have to do it for each one of these. And I want to align them, and I want it horizontal, and I want it vertical. So now they're put together. I can take both of these and then I can decide to attach them. But if I do it too soon, I won't be able to duplicate this and use it for the other 5. So let's start with just taking the circle that I made so these can all be identical. I'm going to need 5 copies. So let's do 5 copies. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me just pull all of these over here because I'm going to send them all to the back and put them behind. So let's see if I can do all of these together. So I'm going to arrange and I'm going to send to back. So let's see what we get. Okay, let me just take them one at a time. Yes, they do go in behind, which is perfect. We're able to group those. So I'm just going to add these. Now I'm going to have to take each one of these individually and do the centering, because if I do it all together, it's going to do something really weird. But once they're centered like this, I am going to attach them. I didn't do the first one, so let me come over here and let me attach this together. Now, same thing here. Now we have some other designs down here. They happen to be identical to these, because if you took this one and it's going in behind, let's arrange this one and send it to the front. You could actually cut out a piece. It would actually fit right in here if you wanted it to go on top, but that would eliminate your foiling. But these ones, you can cut them out as they are, and these will be really cute. You can use them on different types of paper. Now they're all different colors here, so they are going to go on different mats, and to avoid the exasperation of having to move them to different mats, I'm going to select them all together. I'm going to change the color here, and let's make them all, let's say, blue. This way they will all go on the same mat, and you'll be able to cut these out individually and then attach them to cards or anything else you want, because they are cut items. Now, something else you can do with these, you can make them a little bit different. So we're going to take this wave one. I just want to show you a little trick here. What if you didn't want just the wave? So let's duplicate this before we play with it. Just move it over here. We'll play with the duplicate. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on it. It is an SVG file. I'm going to come over here to contour. Now if I hide all contours, just like this, and then click away, I will get the egg shape all by itself that I could put in behind anything that I want. So for example, if these are cut and I want something in behind it that I could glue around the edges, I'm going to just change the color of this, and let's make this one a red. That's on top, so let's arrange it and send it to the back. I could actually have this design as a 3D, where I could put on the color on a card and then use foam pads to put this on top. So that's one way you can get the entire shape and then push it out that way. You could do the same with this one. You could actually use the background. It's going to be on there, but you could put another background in behind and make it a 3D shape. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with it. Okay, so let's now move over. I'm just going to delete this one because we're not going to use it for this cut, but you could create them for yourself. Let us save this. It's going to be, let's save this, and this is going to be March, and it's egg, foil egg, I guess we'll call it, foil egg, and save it. Perfect. So now let's go over and let's go to make. It's going to sort them into colors. Now these are the ones that are going to be cut. Here is my suggestion. I'm going to push this one at the 6-inch mark. I'm going to bring this one down to the edge. Actually, I'm going to put this one in the middle. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm going to put the more complex ones in the middle and then leave these ones to the outside. So what I want to do here is I want these all on different colored pieces of paper. So all I need to do is cut out a 4-inch by 4-inch piece of paper for each one of these and put different colors on my mat. So I can end up with 6 different colored cuts for these eggs. It's perfect for Easter because you can have a lavender, a yellow, an orange, a red, a purple, and a green. And you can have them on all different colors, and then you can start stacking them on a card. So that is for the cut. Now the reason I want the more complicated one here, I ran into an issue when I was cutting mine. I had this one down in the corner and the edge buckled up a little bit and it jammed my machine. So I didn't end up with this one. Whereas if I have it in the middle, it doesn't tend to jam on the edges. So anything on the edges could possibly jam. You could move them over a little bit if you wanted. We know it's by 4, so you could possibly move these over so that they're at the 2-inch mark. So nothing is going to jam on those edges. Just a little tip to make it a little easier on the cut. Now that is for the cut ones. Now if we come over here and take a look at the next one, you could just have them cut and foil exactly as it is because you're using the same foil tip. There's no big deal here, but you can cut a piece 7.5 by 9.5 and just put it across. What I find is that I use the large strip foil. So I put a strip across the entire thing. So I end up with this little extra piece. You can, I don't think 4 will fit here. No, they won't. You have to go 3 by 3. So you can put one strip of the foil over top, and you want it 7.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So you probably want to cut it ahead of time and tape it down, because when Cricut does its cut, it does the foil first. Now I find that taking it apart at the top with the foil right at the top is sometimes hard to get to. So here's what I'm going to suggest you do. I want you to move these down to the bottom so that when you tape your piece on, it is at the bottom and much easier to remove. Push it down here. And that way when it ejects the mat slightly when you're doing this, so you can pull the tape off so it can do its next process, you're not going to run into an issue with the top part of the mat being under the rollers and it's really tough to remove. So that's a little trick with it. And just remember when you're using your Cricut that it will foil first and then cut. Really important to know that, because you can tape down your foil long before you put the mat in place. Once it has done the foiling, it will stop and eject most of the mat, but not all of it. What it wants you to do is pull off your tape with your foil and set it off to the side, and then reload the mat in when you're ready, and then it will do the cut. So I want you to try and do this on your own. Remember, you're going to use different kinds of stock perhaps. So one type of stock for the one that's going to cut, and you can use a different type of stock for this one. So let's just continue here. It's going to come up with our basic cuts here. It's going to ask us the type of material we're going to use. Now I use something that I can rely that it's not going to be too flimsy when I go to cut something. And my material of choice is either a medium or a heavy cardstock. I find the medium cardstock works the best. You're just going to need a fine point blade. Make sure it's sharpened, or you have a new blade in place, because some of these are pretty intricate and you want some really good cuts on it. When it comes to the next one, it's already set to your medium cardstock. You don't have to do anything different, but it is going to tell you to load the foil transfer tool medium tip in place. Then it's asking you to tape the gold foil on base material. It could be silver or another color if you have it. Then you load the mat. After this is done, it's going to ask you to remove this piece and then insert the fine point blade to cut around the outside edges. Okay, we are all ready to go, and then we're going to place them onto another surface. So I will see you over at the demo table. Now that we have all of our eggs with the foil, as you can see, some of these turned out beautifully. Look at the detail on some of this with the foil. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now these are the little oval circles that we made to print them on. Some of my paper didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but it's pretty close. So these are the ones that we had foiled, and then these were the eggs that we had cut out separately. So we can use those as different decorations as we go through this process. Now, for the decoration, you could simply take a card such as this and take one of these and actually place it on here and make it a nice little decoration or an invite card. And what I would suggest you do, and we'll just fold this over as accurate as I can right here. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little placeholder for, it will come like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to place the egg right on there and just have it stick right up. And then of course you can write somebody's name on it as well, across the top or across the bottom. So I might just push it up a little bit so that we can add a name down across the bottom. Okay, so we've got about the placement where we want it. This time I'm just going to take a couple of my little foam pads here, and I'm just going to push them approximately where I want them. I'm going to need a third one here to do this. I'll just pull those pieces off. Okay, so I want to line this up so it's pretty straight. There we go. So now we have a nice little place setting, and you can write the person's name on there. I happen to have some Cricut pens here if we had a nice bright color. Gold or silver might look good on that. Let's try a medium gold and see what we get here. Just push it down here. I'm just going to add my own name to this. Oh, in gold it looks fabulous. As you can see, you can have nice little placeholders. Now that one's a gorgeous little design, so you can make several of these. I'm just going to make the one for our demonstration purposes. Now there's some other things that you can do as well with these gold eggs and the pieces that we cut out. I have some more of this cardstock that was double-sided that we had used. This is a nice bright color on the outside and inside. They both look really good. You line them up as best as possible. Then of course you can put your egg designs in any which way you want to use. So this is kind of cute doing it this way. And then we can add more designs on the other side, but we could also add some of our other designs. Let's get a little heart one going here. Some of our eggs. We can add a fourth one. I think 3 will probably be plenty, and I think I'll use the heart one that goes into place here. So this is just the outside of a card. And we can layer and stack these as we go. So I'm going to start by pushing this one down to the bottom first. Now what I want to make sure is that I just have the little areas that I want. So I'm probably going to use just a little bit of the tape. Now I think I'll go with these foam pads because you won't be able to see them. And a couple of other ones. Let's just do one at the top. I'm trying to hide them from the back so that they don't overlap, and I think the other place this will go will probably be right here. I could probably cut these in half to make them smaller and make sure I got all the pieces off. That's going to be my first piece that goes on. You can see I'm going to get a really nice 3D effect. I'm not putting anything on the outside edges. I want it to stand out on its own. Now, of course, I have these other eggs, and I'm going to have to stand those out as well. But as you can see, some of my paper didn't quite trim the way I wanted it to. So I am going to add more foam pads to this one because I'm going to have it stand out one more. It's going to be at the top. And I'm just going to put 3, but I'm going to double down on the bottom ones here. But let's just take a look and see what this will look like. I could put it up this way. That gives us one height, and then this will come down a bit. So I'm going to have to add more to the bottom piece. Let me just pull this off for a second. I'm going to add 2 more here. I'm going to take off the edges. As you can see, you can start stacking things up quite well. So I'm just going to stack them so it'll come out really nicely. Okay, get rid of those top pieces. Come up here, just going to place that one back into place. Now these two are two up, so now you can see you're getting a 3D layered effect. And of course I can put another one in there. I don't want red, maybe it's the same design. Yeah, maybe I'll do this really intricate one, which I can place underneath this way as well, or do another design with it all together. For now I'm just going to leave the two of them here. And then we're going to go to the inside. You can add a greeting here as well. Now on the inside, you can add other things as well. So you could put a plain paper in behind. I have some squares cut out that we can use. I'm going to go for a brighter color on the inside. Once I get the brighter color down, it's going to be really easy to see some of these designs. So you can add these in. This is just gorgeous. So this purple is going to match, so that might be the perfect way to do it. Now this one's a really interesting one as it bounces out. You probably only want to tape the top part of it and then add your greeting. So let's just put this together. You can be more accurate. I'm just doing this on the fly. So this is kind of neat because you can, it gets a little movement. So here's two different ways you can use those eggs, especially the ones that have been done with the foil. And this is another one that's been cut out. You can add as many as you want to it, just for your own decoration. You could even add another one over here. So there's lots of things you can do with it as a card. There's also a way to make these placeholders, which is really nice. And these are just 4 by 4 inch squares for a placeholder, and then of course the foil quill on that. So if you have a little get together with your family this Easter, you'll be able to take all of these pieces and just put together this nice little package. Well, I hope you had a lot of fun putting this together. Use your imagination on how you can use these gorgeous foiled eggs and even the cutout eggs, such as the one on the hearts that we put on this card. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that little bell so you're reminded every time I put up a video. Until next time, happy crafting.